I'm an American moving to Afghanistan, and this is part 2 of all of the things I got as gifts from my husband's family. This is all for the kids. So,
Imagine meeting someone on Snapchat, talking for hours every day as a truck driver, falling in love, and then deciding to move from the US to Afghanistan under Taliban rule to be with him after meeting in person once. This is the story of Alex Sunny, and it's gone massively viral for all the wrong reasons.
We have an update on the Afghanistan lady, and no, it was not rage bait like a bunch of people were hoping for. She genuinely was planning on going over there. But it somehow gets worse, because once the videos,
so I'm gonna respond to some of the comments I keep seeing in my comment section.
Did you hear about the woman who's flying to Afghanistan to marry a guy?
People on the internet are warning this woman not to go and be with her husband in Afghanistan, that she has met one time and they were together for 12 days. It's since been 2 years since she has seen this man, and now she's going to travel abroad to be with him. People have asked her what she thinks her everyday life will be. She said if she does a Storytime Part 2, she will answer that question.
Alex's story began innocently enough. As a trucker with hours to fill, she connected with her now husband on Snapchat. They exchanged WhatsApp numbers and built what felt like an unbreakable bond through constant communication. "It felt like I knew him forever," she shared in one of her videos.
So people seem to think that I reverted to Islam because of my husband, but that's just simply not true. I was actually a born Muslim, but then when I came back to America, I was raised by my family and here in America, and they're Christians. So naturally, I just grew up Christian. I didn't really go to church or read the Bible or anything. One summer when I was about 12 years old, I went to go visit with my dad, and we were just talking really deep about religion and stuff. And he was like, you shouldn't believe everything your family in America tells you. Christians believe that Jesus is God. And right then, I will remember that conversation forever. That was a pivotal point for me, because I was still pretty young around that age, even though he planted a seed for me to start asking questions. I still lived a haram life all the way up until I was about 24. I had just turned 24. And so I went to go visit with my dad just because I missed him and wanted to see him. And also I wanted to figure out the other half of me. So when I got back to the US, I just did hours of research. I listened to debates. I listened to podcasts. I did not choose Islam because of my husband. I chose my husband.
She wasn't initially seeking romance, but his easy conversation won her over. They married, but when his US visa was denied, reportedly over security concerns, she chose to uproot her life entirely.
Get ready with me while I tell you why my husband failed his immigration interview. We started this process about a year ago. It was January 20th, to be exact, when we filed our first paperwork. Honestly, we're one of the lucky ones when it came to the first stage, which is the I-130 form that you have to fill out. We got really lucky because there was an exemption for Afghan immigrants, and we bypassed a lot of the time that it takes to get through that stage, which is normally about a year. And it costs about $650 to $700 to file that form. Exemption was that Afghan immigrants got to bypass that. Our form was processed within 2 days. We got an approval within 2 days, which is almost unheard of. Also, let me go ahead and say that we are actually extremely lucky given the circumstances to other people, compared to other people who have gone through this immigration process. And we are extremely grateful that we are in a good place to be able to kind of afford all of the forms and not take a huge financial loss, because people lost their lives through this immigration process and the travel ban. Nonetheless, we still lost thousands of dollars. The forms, just in the forms alone, we probably invested about $1,000 to $1,500. I don't remember the exact amount. The biggest expense was probably just paying for his visas. He's from Afghanistan, so it's extremely hard for him to get a visa. It's extremely expensive. There's only a few countries that actually allow for Afghanis to get a visa and travel to the country. As you may know,
in clips that racked up millions of views, she defiantly posted about changing her flight from August 17th to August 3rd because she missed him too much, brushing off every form of criticism as hate comments.
Afghanistan doesn't have a U.S. embassy. Once they pulled out of Afghanistan in 2021, it was closed down. So a lot of Afghanis will interview in third-party countries. I think Qatar is one of them. Pakistan is the biggest one. Tajikistan was one. At the time, Tajikistan was moving a lot faster than Pakistan because Pakistan was several months backlogged due to COVID. His Tajikistan visa was about $1,400. So we lost, once they changed the law, we lost the money on that. The $1,400 was just gone, like poof. Like I might as well have taken $1,400 and lit it on fire because they changed the law to where Afghanis could only interview in Pakistan. So then we got his visa to Pakistan, which was also another $1,200. So a little bit cheaper, but it's still pretty pricey considering it's literally just a 6-month visa. So that's it. We're ready for his interview. He has his visa. He's all prepared to go to Pakistan. And we get his interview letter about mid-November. And then the news broke in the beginning of December that they were going to indefinitely suspend Afghani immigration visas all across the board. We were extremely sad, we were confused, and we really did not know what was going on. We were crossing our fingers hoping that it would be blocked, but it's still in place. We didn't know if he should go to his interview or not, but at that point, like, we'd already spent the money on his visa, his plane tickets, and everything that came with that, so we didn't really have a choice. We were kind of backed into a...
She gave the impression that more American women should date and marry men from other countries because, according to her, there's better family values abroad compared to US red pill or 50-50 dynamics. But as her story exploded, fellow women, especially from Afghan backgrounds, rushed to warn her. One Afghan woman posted a heartfelt video. As an Afghan woman who loves her country, you lose rights the moment you land. You can't travel without a male guardian. It's just as hard to leave.
So I'm going to respond to some of the comments I keep seeing in my comment section.
Did you hear about the woman who's flying to Afghanistan to marry a guy? She only met one time in Pakistan, but she's going over there because his visa was denied because he got questionable terrorism ties. So she's going to Afghanistan.
People on the internet are warning this woman not to go and be with her husband in Afghanistan, that she has met one time and they were together for 12 days. It's since been 2 years since she has seen this man, and now she's going to travel abroad to be with him. People have asked her what she thinks her everyday life will be. She said if she does a Storytime Part 2, she will answer that question. A lot of people feel like at this point she is rage baiting them. I don't think she is. I went through her videos and she is very much married to a man she met on Snapchat that lives in Afghanistan. She's doing all of this while the women in Afghanistan would give anything to get out of Afghanistan. I feel is a bit disrespectful. Or her videos of her talking about it while she's doing her makeup. Ma'am, you will not be allowed to wear that makeup over there. People are even warning her that your husband is allowed to have more than one husband. You might not just be your husband's wife. You might be several other people's wife as well. She shows pictures right here where she shows that they followed the policy and it still separated them. She has been planning this for a while now. Once everybody started warning her, she actually moved the date up from the 17th to, I believe, like the 3rd of August. And the comments went wild. Y'all are asking her to keep us updated. She won't be able to soon. Don't pack your makeup. No one will be able to see you anyways. There are lots of warnings that this girl should really look into before she heads over to Afghanistan.
Thousands of users echoed the same message across platforms. As a foreigner, Alex could face heightened scrutiny under Taliban enforcement. Basic freedoms will vanish. No secondary education for girls, restricted movement, mandatory full coverage of the burqa, male doctors only for many issues, and homes with covered windows so outsiders can't even tell a woman lives inside. Should you risk all that in the name of love?
It started going viral. I started getting comments a couple of days ago, and people were like, have you seen the update? Have you seen the update? And I'm like, what update? Oh God, did she leave? Did she already go over there? I was secretly fingers crossed. I was like, please say that this is rage bait. Like, say that, like, say psych right now, right? Nope, it's so much worse. Turns out he was doing this to multiple women. He was actively like seeking it, and some of y'all called it though. Some of y'all were like, I bet he has multiple wives, and I was like, probably. Turns out, y'all that was saying he had multiple women, you were 100% right. He was trying to actively convince multiple women to go over there. Once the video started going viral, the other women started recognizing his picture and being like, wait, that's the guy I'm talking to too. That is also trying to convince me to move to Afghanistan. What's funny is I think one in particular, I'm pretty sure that one, I know exactly who one of these other women was. Because there was a woman, and some of y'all were arguing with her in the comments too. She came.
Afghanistan wasn't always like this. Before the Taliban's return in 2021, cities like Kabul saw women studying, working, and walking freely in vibrant public life. Now it's often called gender apartheid. Women can't speak loudly in public, even to friends. They can't leave home alone or access healthcare reliably. Begging on streets or outside mosques has become one of the few visible roles for many who are driven by poverty and lost opportunities. This reality hits hardest in personal stories that unfold like slow-motion tragedies. Take Gulnaz, for instance, whose ordeal began around 2009 when she was barely 16. Raped by her cousin's husband, Asadullah, she delayed reporting it to avoid stigma. When she did, Afghan authorities charged her with adultery by force because the rapist was married. Even while jailed, she gave birth to her daughter, named Smile, in prison. International outcry led to a presidential pardon from Hamid Karzai in 2011, freeing her after years. But that was only the beginning of another crisis. Societal pressure was unrelenting. Her family rejected her, and honor demanded she marry her attacker as his second wife to reintegrate. Whatever that meant. One other harrowing recent example is the story of Marjan. Born in Kabul, she was just 12 when her father sold her into marriage with a Taliban fighter for money. Removed from any chance at education or normal life, she endured isolation and suffering in a rural setting where many such brides disappear into households. Her story shows how Taliban connections can make families trade girls for protection or cash. Even younger victims are not left out.
In this arid, desolate landscape, not a scrap of vegetation in sight, lies a makeshift camp for some of Afghanistan's internally displaced. Among its residents, 9-year-old Parwana. Her bright pink dress squeals of laughter and childhood games, a ruse to the horrors unfolding in this unhospitable environment. I have no work, no money, no food. I have to sell my daughter, he says. I have no other choice. Parwana, who dreams of going to school and becoming a teacher, applies makeup. A favourite pastime for little girls, but Parwana knows she is preparing for what awaits her. My father has sold me because we don't have bread, rice and flour. He has sold me to an old man.
In 2021 to 2025 CNN and local coverage, cases like 9-year-old Parwana show fathers handing over tiny girls to much older men with the chilling words, "This is your bride, please take care of her."
The white-bearded man who claims he's 55 years old comes to collect her. He's bought Parwana for 200,000 Afghanis, just over $2,000 US. Covered up, Parwana whimpers as her mother holds her. "This is your bride, please take care of her," says Parwana's father. "Of course I will take care of her," replies the man. His large hands grab her small frame. Parwana tries to pull away. As he carries her only bag of belongings, she again resists, digging her heels into the dirt. But it's futile. The fate of this small, helpless child has been sealed. Child marriage is nothing new in poor rural parts of Afghanistan. But human rights activists are reporting an increase in cases because of the economic and humanitarian crisis engulfing the country.
These are devastating decisions that no parent should ever have to make. And it really speaks to what an extraordinary breakdown is happening in Afghanistan right now.
For months, the UN has been warning of a catastrophe as Afghanistan, a war-ravaged, aid-dependent country, descends into a brutal winter. Billions of dollars in central bank assets were frozen after the Taliban swept to power in August. Banks are running out of money, wages haven't been paid for months, while food prices soar.
Recent 2025 to 2026 Taliban decrees, like Code on Judicial Separation, have worsened this by tying marriage to puberty as young as 9 and counting silence as consent, making escape harder. In a most tragic case, a 15-year-old in Daikundi died from domestic violence months after such a marriage.
For this family in neighbouring Gore province, they are trying to sell 2 daughters, 9-year-old Litan and 4-year-old Zeton, for $1,000 each. Do you know why they're selling you? The journalist asked Zeton. Because we are a poor family and don't have any food to eat, she says. Are you scared? He asks. Yes, I am. Another family in Gore province borrowed money from their 70-year-old neighbour. Now he's demanding it back, but they have nothing to give, except their 10-year-old daughter, Magul. My daughter doesn't want to go and is crying all the time. I am so ashamed, he says. Terrified, she threatens to take her life. If they push me to marry the old man, I will kill myself. I don't want to leave my parents. Days later, she discovers the sale has been finalised. Another Afghan child sold into a life of misery.
These stories build a pattern. Initial hope or desperation leads to entrapment. Whether foreign or local, women face the same walls once they cross over. Sushmita Banerjee, an Indian author married to an Afghan, escaped Taliban death threats in the 1990s twice before being killed in 2013 after returning. Zora Aziz, an Afghan-American, lived in fear for her husband during the 2021 fall of Kabul. You see, not every individual man is cruel, but the legal system, male guardianship, restricted rights, honor-based pressures, stacks overwhelmingly against women. A US passport offers no automatic shield once inside.
In Pakistan on January 21st, as I mentioned earlier, and they did give him his 221G, which basically is, his denial. It's supposed to be a final denial, but we're hoping that once the ban is lifted with the next president, most likely, that he will be able to just get his visa stamped and not have to go back through the whole process again, because the immigration process takes about 2 to 3 years on average, so it could be longer than that. At the end of the day, my husband was denied not because of anything that he did or anything that was on his background, but because of policy and the dumbass president. Sorry to say it, but it's true. Also, my husband is a really good man. He worked for UNICEF and he provided, a lot of support for homeless children in his country, in Afghanistan. He is literally twice the man that Donald Trump could ever be. So now my husband is back in Afghanistan and we are deciding on what we want to do next. I am a dual citizen, so I have citizenship in America because I was born here, and I also have citizenship in Jordan, so we don't know if maybe we could start an immigration process in Jordan, but we honestly don't want to wait for another immigration process. And the other option is for me to just move to Afghanistan. We can't keep waiting for the laws to change or stalling our lives any longer than what we already have. My husband means the world to me, so...
Alex and anyone considering this path still has time to change their minds. It's not too late, even for Alex, I hope. What do you think? Is Alex's move naivety, true love, or something else? Drop your thoughts below. What other cases have you seen? Let's discuss that too.